All right, greetings and welcome. I am Joffrey, today joined by Darkest Light and Vector Maximus, and today we are discussing the map of the British Isles. Ooh, fun stuff. Uh, I'm gonna try, because we're starting a bit later, I'm gonna try to make this a little less of a slog than I usually make it, for everyone's sake, though. So, let us get started. This one's from Saint Dave, interestingly, I see. Um, might have seen here on the forums. He works on a very secretive game. Yes, Project Caesar. Ooh, wow, I wonder what that redacted is. A double whammy, mostly because it's really hard to show Britain on its own in a screenshot, partly to sidestep the British Isles naming controversy, but mainly because the gameplay of them both is so different. Ah, so the idea is we're getting Ireland and Britain,
Great
I
Britain.
guess. Yeah, makes sense.
Well, Great Britain and Ireland,
Yeah, that makes
aka the
sense.
British Isles, but splitting it up because the Irish are coming.
Yes. uh, well, yes, Great Britain and Ireland. I'm just fine with that. I like more stuff. Climate. Ooh, we do get some Arctic stuff up in the mountains, though I don't. Maybe those are impassables.
Those are
Yeah.
impassables.
Fine, fine. They don't let us own the Arctic Highlands. Oh well. But it's cool to see on the map at least. It's just neat to be able to look at it and be like, "Ooh, look!" It's showing like, you go really high up and it becomes Arctic because it's always snowy.
It is so high.
Yes, all hail Britannia! Yes, Nemcraft. Yes. Wintries. Continental climates. Yes. Topography. All right, I'm gonna be a little more curious about this one. Um,
This is before they cut everything down.
cut everything down. Where is? You mean there just aren't trees like at all in the British Isles?
A
Oh,
lot
oh,
less than there used to be.
woods. But forest is the dense stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
The old
I
world
know
will
this one.
burn in the fires of industry. The forests will fall.
I think how we have. It goes just straight to sparse a lot of the times here. No, well, actually, they've done a pretty good job of not
They
making it
said
go
that
from.
they discuss in the diary that sparse is being used to represent things like fenland, marsh, and there's one other that they mentioned by name, but I don't remember.
Oh.
Yeah, so woodland coverage in Britain has dropped from 15% to 5% in the modern day.
Ooh, that's bad. Okay, fair enough.
They have chopped down a lot of trees. Although it has apparently been on the rise recently, as they try to plant trees back again.
Well, if there is some sort of deforestation mechanic, then which I think they've said there is. I swear, but I don't know. But if there is, then I mean Scotland having all this dense forest is going to be handy for actually getting access to wood. I mean, well, the rest of the country not so much. The rest of the region, there's a lot of countries here. Not so much. Uh, but that is interesting. I suppose we'll see. Wait, isn't marsh its own thing? I thought wetlands is its own thing somewhere.
Yeah, but they're using it for the like mixed, not quite full marsh.
Oh, okay. So places that aren't like Egypt and the Low Countries, or
Yeah,
like, because we were
that
having
aren't
that conversation.
floodplains. Oh, I think they call them bogs,
Oh,
representing
bogs, bogs.
flood.
Yeah. Oh, so like yeah, because in my own province there's a lot of bogs in lots of dreadful cold bogs in the north of my province, but not. Let me again. I've got a offline mode. I always forget to do that. Um, yeah, in the north of my province, we've got lots of cold bogs, but they're not. It's not just like all encompassing enough that you would want to call the terrain that, I suppose, because you can like step outside of it. But in fact, I'd probably describe it as woods more. But anyway, yes. There's places like I know that Dracat had, for example, said that there was a region of Poland that looks to him like that in real life should have been translated to all being marsh, but I suppose it was surrounded by more flat land, like sparse. So I imagine that makes sense then, where it's like, oh, the heart of that region is it's just marsh, but then the rest of it is like it's sparse. Um, but anyway, to continue along, raw materials. The raw goods situation aims to reflect the economic reality of medieval Britain. Shepherding was common on every corner of the islands. A lot of the wool produced was sold to the industrial hub of the Low Countries to be manufactured into cloth, which is then in turn sold back to the British market. As Vector has talked about
I
on many
didn't even
occasions.
have to bring it. I didn't even have to bring it up. The Death Diary brought it up.
I bet it was because they watched us. You know, they watched us and they knew that we were going to talk about it. That's why St. Dave is talking about it, surely.
Yeah, no other reason.
It's because we are very influential. Um, I'm very much looking forward to seeing how that plays.
We must be careful to wield this influence wisely.
Well, I'm very much looking forward to seeing how that translates in gameplay wise. I really want to see just that the goods flow between the markets, and it sounds so fun.
Well, and hopefully you could maybe make the textile industry come home. You know, instead of having to import into the old country, build the infrastructure in England itself.
Or maybe it wouldn't be
yourself.
Or maybe it wouldn't be. I mean, I'm sure that's quite feasible. Yeah, but maybe it wouldn't be as profitable for some reason. Yeah, maybe it would. Maybe there's some other industry. But with all the wool, I mean, there's so much wool. They've made so much wool here. That's probably your best bet is to make your own textile industry and kick the Dutch out, which would just ruin the Flemish economy. For the further northwest we go, the less fertile the terrain, and as such, the greater reliance on pastoral farming, such as livestock over wheat. The western hills and valleys also expose a great number of mineral delights. Mineral delights, ooh.
It's a new candy from Willy Wonka.
Mineral delights!
It's a new hard rock candy.
I want that. That sounds good. I would 100% eat Wonka's new candy, Mineral Delights. Yeah.
Yeah, so would I. It unironically sounds very appetizing.
Take notes. The historic stannery mines of Devon and Cornwall.
The tin!
Tin, yes! Yes!
Tin and silver.
There's copper too. All right. Let's dig. Yeah. All right. Fish, tin, silver. Cornwall's actually
really in deep.
Cornwall's got some serious mining they could do. Yeah. Gosh, and they're all just in the chat talking about the virtuoso arbitrator. I must continue to ignore them.
Good.
I wonder what use tin and copper. Well, copper is good for early cannons, isn't it?
Yeah, bronze cannons were the first major.
Oh, you probably need both tin and copper then. You probably do, in fact, need both tin and copper to make your bronze cannons, and then like copper bottom ships. You know.
Oh yeah, for hulls and such.
That was like the first reinforced hull kind of thing. Oh, he left. No wonder you were talking. God damn it! Everyone shun him.
Me too. See that there's only one precious metal in the entire Isles.
Don't you go dissing our tin.
Wait,
There's only one precious metal, just in Cornwall, just one silver. That's it.
is that it? Is Cornwall
That's
the
it.
only precious metal on the entire Isles? No.
That is it.
I don't believe you.
Dissing our tin.
We
What is-
need our Cornish tin. You be
What is-
quiet, Dark.
What is tin even used for at this point? Like, you don't need bronze anymore.
Cannons.
The first cannons were made from
Yeah.
bronze.
We were having a conversation about that just before you
you're
popped back
right.
in. I imagine it's
Yeah,
going to be
but,
quite
like-
important for that.
So what you're saying is it'll become useless.
Yes.
There's tin cans also have their name for a reason, so you know.
I don't think we're in the canning industry yet.
I know, but you don't get to call tin useless.
Yeah.
It's fairly useless compared to the rest of the metals on this list.
I mean, sure, coal and iron.
Coal is not a metal.
Joffrey being like, "What other lies have I been told by the Jedi?"
What do you mean? Coal is not a metal? Next, you're telling me that legumes is not a type of animal.
Hey, copper exists in Southern Ireland. Hey, that actually keeps its value because you use it in wiring for electronics later.
I
That's
don't
definitely
think.
within the time frame of
Yeah.
EU4.
Okay. All seriousness, I think that copper is going to keep its value a lot longer because of ships.
Boat.
Perhaps they're gonna even. I don't know if bronze was ever used. Bronze is a heavy fucking metal, so I'm not confident that they use that on
Yeah.
ships.
It is.
But I know that they used copper plating for the bottom of a lot of ships for a long time.
It's to stop things from scratching the wood and tearing holes.
Smart stuff. Of course, Wessex has the crucial sand resource.
I don't
As
know.
well
I
as
think
north of
sand
Dublin.
might be better than tin.
I think it's gonna be. I'm gonna be honest, unless there's some
Sand
other
is
goofy
needed to
thing.
make glass, so yeah, I could see that becoming important for luxury products.
And they even have lead. You have all the glass you
Yeah.
could ever need in England.
Nemcraft, I know you're saying at least tin is better than sand. Why though? What is it gonna be used for? That's the question. What are you using it for other than bronze? Molten glass is floated on molten tin to produce flat
apparently
uniform
you
glass
need
panes.
apparently you need tin
What?
to make pewter.
Oh?
So pewter.
Oh. Well, maybe there is a bunch of niche uses for tin then.
The question is,
Maybe it's a
how
type.
Uh,
much will they actually represent that?
I hope they do, because I would love to.
Also-
Because production
also-
methods, you know?
Tin is used for soldering. Over half of the world's tin is used solely to solder other metals.
Huh. Well, I imagine what tin is probably going to have its main use for then is for types of production methods where having it will help
Agreed.
you. If you have
Agreed.
access to it, it's better than if you don't. It's not a need, but if you have it, it makes something easier where you don't need extra, you know?
Agreed.
At least mining tin would be more fulfilling than shoveling sand. True, Armas. Aw, I'm never gonna let it go. Every time we look at this map, it's always gonna come up that just my father was I am a sand shoveler. Your grandfather was a sand shoveler, and my father's father was a sand shoveler. And one day you, son, shall take over the sand shoveling industry.
I think because I'm now intensely. I was curious, and now I'm looking up. There's another thing. Apparently, a medieval to early modern period, tin-plated steel, which had a silver-esque appearance that was used for like, if you couldn't actually afford like proper silver, marks and stuff like that. you could get shining tin-plated steel.
So
That's
This is
fantastic.
honestly fascinating. This is
Thank you for looking into this, Vector. That's great.
I don't
You
think
can't-
they're gonna represent that one though.
No, I
Yeah,
don't
they
think
probably
so.
won't, but it's so interesting, particularly here, you've got tin right next to the silver, so it's like, oh, this is fine silverware I got from Cornwall. It actually turns out to be tin-plated steel.
That would be fantastic. Oh my gosh. Cause yeah, I get all the tin. I don't think there's no tin. Oh, okay, yeah, there's some in Ireland. Ireland's probably gonna be good. Ireland's got a nice spread of resources.
Yeah, but it doesn't have much.
Oh, there's not much wood here. What the hell?
No iron.
No, it doesn't. Oh, I'm
No
taking it
iron
back.
I imagine no iron is really bad.
Yeah, that's gonna really and no coal deposits. That's gonna really suck.
One lead. Okay. Damn. I'm sorry, Ireland. Them having good resources is looking more like they're having ready to be exploited resources, not
No
good
iron,
resources
no
to take
precious
advantage of
metal.
themselves. Oh.
It's
Yeah,
rough.
they are set up well to be an agricultural society, not an industrializing one. with those resources.
Oh, yeah,
The
all the
problem is that
livestock and wheat.
livestock farming like that is so much less efficient than wheat farming.
Yeah. Oh no, Ireland, no, my poor boy. And then you look
Livestock
at
are honestly like luxury goods, to be honest, at this point in time.
looking at this. I would genuinely like playing as the Principality of Wales. I would rather play as just the Prince of Wales than the entirety of Ireland. I would feel more confident with this.
Yeah, you've got iron and
Oh.
coal that you can exploit.
You've got fish. You got the fish that you can like. 'Cause fish is still like
Well,
going to be a valuable.
Ireland's got plenty of fish.
Yeah, like you can feed yourself in Ireland with all the lives, like because you've got the wheat and
Yeah.
livestock and
Well,
like you
that's
can
why I
feed
was
yourself there.
emphasizing the iron and the coal
Oh.
in Wales, because that's industrial goods.
Because
Although
again,
I
the points being made here is like you could like pump up your production of fish and there's a little bit of wheat here, but that's not much.
So I think what's going to happen, I think they mentioned that coal becomes more prevalent later in the game. So I think some resources do change.
Maybe that
Like
could
I
be interesting.
imagine that wool industry in England will gradually drop off.
Yeah, I'd be because there are several of those wood that roughly overlap with where I know historic coal deposits were. So I imagine we'll see that flip.
I mean, Nemcraft, I could try and encourage Englishmen to come and make their fortune mining iron for me.
I don't think iron rushes are exactly as big as you think, Joffrey.
I mean,
Iron doesn't exactly capture the imagination like gold or silver. You don't have people going up
Just
into
you
the
wait until I make our tin rush. It will happen.
Yes.
You don't have people
Yes.
people didn't go up into like the horrible conditions of central Alaska and the Yukon for iron. They went for gold.
Well, I could try. But again, with the poor man's silver, I want to see Vector. You must release and play as fucking Cornwall, and then it like get tons of people to. You want to try and get people to migrate to you to be like, oh, come in, we're so rich in silver, and then they mine the tin for us. Yes, the fools. But I don't know what alum is. But that's been catching my attention for a bit. What is alum? A type of chemical
usually
compound.
a hydrated double sulfate salt of aluminum.
What the hell?
It's used in dyeing.
Fabrics. Oh. But it's not dye? What the heck would that be used for in this game's timeline?
Maybe to help the die stick to the clothes.
Yay!
Well, what is up in Scotland then?
Not much.
Useless. What the hell? This
have
is
pearls. They have a
dreadful.
single province of pearls.
Wow. A luxury good that provides no material value.
This is horrible. What are you gonna do with this?
It's almost like Scotland was a greatly underpopulated bunch of highlands that are not great for agriculture.
But they don't
It's
even
bad.
mind.
Say England.
I can say Scotland is bad on population. I was actually shocked at how bad it was once you
Really?
get there.
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
I was shocked at how bad it was.
If you want to skip to the end, there's the population map, and you can see.
I don't quite want to, but we'll get there. Is the point? Yeah. But surely, because we were talking about like resources changing, surely you can like sit down and be like, I feel like mining in Scotland and actually get like I don't know stone maybe. Bold, but why do you think the Romans never conquered it? I think the Romans never. I thought the Romans never conquered it because there were too many people that they didn't want to try and control, not because there were too few people and too few things.
Okay, yeah, salt probably has some value. Yeah.
Yeah, salt is valuable.
I suppose, yes. It's true. And then they can. I guess they can export horses and pearls. Salt was valuable before, wasn't? Yeah. Exactly. Now, as Nemcraft is saying, it's important for food preservation. I'm sure that it is going to be a very useful resource for something fundamental, not really for production, but probably for something fundamental to the gameplay. Well, probably just a need. I imagine it's just a population need that is important early game. But to move along.
Well, you need it for preserving food, so.
It's probably just something that your pops want. Or maybe it helps with food somehow. I don't know. We'll see. As you can see, the two starting markets are London and... They added a Dublin market?
No, It's been there. You were just wrong the whole time.
No, it wasn't. They changed the way that it's... They changed it! Dark.
Nope.
You're stupid.
Nope.
You're stupid.
No.
You see, look, they changed... You're actually incompetent. Holy, look, they changed
all
it.
Those times, times you saw, you actually just weren't paying enough attention.
No, actually, you are just mentally deficient and need to realize my greatness. Look, the name has changed. Just
Joffrey, you just
holy.
Joffrey, you need to understand. It's not your fault. You're not the only one that
fell for it. Shut up, the both of you, and move on.
But Joffrey told me that he loves being gaslit.
Alright. London and Dublin. Aside from London, we could have chosen almost any town from Aberdeen to Bristol, but we chose Dublin as it was the main trading centre in Ireland, and also because it handsomely splits the Isles to the east and west of the Pennies, demonstrating the impact that the Pennines, that the terrain can have on dynamic market attraction. I mean, yeah, Wales could pretty comfortably flip, because even a bit of northern Wales is...
Look at that
that's
beautiful island of man in the London market, despite being completely encircled by the Dublin trade zone in the water.
I'm sure that this sort of thing... I bet that by release they'll have fine-tuned it enough that most of this coast of Wales is probably going to flip. Actually, no. It's probably going to stay more like this unless someone... Because, like, if someone had control of all of Ireland, then I imagine they would exert enough influence over the market that like, this coast would more flip as well. But, I don't know. It's very interesting. I do like this more. This is a lot better than them having the zero control over all of this region from the London market. That just felt so wrong. This is much better. No, we're not. We're not going back to the earlier. We know. We're just kidding around, Mcraft. The Isle of Man makes sense to be in the English markets because it's a vassal. Is it not de facto controlled?
I think they said it's a subject.
Oh, it is. It is its own tag. So it's probably a subject.
There's
yeah.
a better political map further down.
Manly man.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll look at that political map later then. But yeah, there's not much else to say about the markets other than it's here. It looks neat. I like this more. And as he said, as St. Dave said, this is a neat display of how terrain affects the market attraction, where you can see that quite easily. The stuff west of the Welsh mountains, and
now there's another objective to playing England, to spread your economic prosperity to all of the British Isles. So they all have to come to the market in London.
Makes sense to me. We've decided to go with a monolithic English culture. All right. That's...
Meanwhile, 2 Lithuanians.
Yeah, monolithic English culture, that's fine, I guess. I would prefer they hadn't, but...
I actually prefer the single English culture by this start date. If it was 200 or 300 years earlier, I could see a stronger argument for splitting it up, but it's pretty well unified by this point.
I'll look at the map.
Will only further solidify that sense of Englishness.
All right, I'll look at the map. I don't need to read what he's saying right now. Yeah, I suppose it's really just what he's saying is just going to be telling me already what's here. So, oh, Anglo-Irish.
Yeah, I can't wait to make an Anglo-Irish Ireland. It's going to be so cursed.
People will hate you.
Yeah, you might want to watch out for what the IRA could do to you.
Oh, please, you know we're going to see a million. Oh, look, the Irish have colonized England games.
Oh, yes. That's true. That's going to be much more common. The Anglo-Irish Ireland country is going to be a lot less common. And there's a lot of...
The ultimate niche one would be Anglo-Irish colonization of England.
We're bringing it home, boys!
Anglo-Irish united, just one culture, British Isles. Anglo-Irish sounds horrible.
The cursed timeline where Ireland never achieves independence and they just merge into a single culture.
No joke, though. I love that this culture exists, but I don't like the name. I really don't like the name. I wish that they would come up with a name it's just one word, you know? Like, oh God, that's another 2-word. I need to look at what that is, but you know,
Anglerish.
Something. I don't know if that would be a good one, but like there's got to be a better term than just Anglo-Irish for a hybrid culture. Lithuania was split in 2 because Samogitian was often considered its own thing and disobeyed the peace with the Teutons. Well, I don't know enough about the subject, but I'm sure that... that sounds quite convincing to me. I'm sure that you are correct on the subject. And as much as people were whining about it, I am the last person to complain about there being more cultures. I love having more distinctions. They could have had an Anglo-Welsh culture and I wouldn't have complained. But what is it? Norse Gael that's what this is. It's a hybrid Norse and Gaelic culture for the Isle of Man and
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Norse Gael minority even in Dublin still, very small.
I would bet there would be. In fact, yeah, it's probably going to be horrendous. That Dublin is probably going to be absolutely horrible. All relatively speaking to the rest of Ireland.
Yeah, in terms of its culture mishmash.
Yes. But and then what? Wait. That culture, is that English or Anglo-Irish?
It's Norse
I think
Gael
that's
with
no, no.
a English minority.
I think that's the Anglo-Irish culture.
No, that's as in the no. I think the minority
Yeah.
culture is English based on the comments they've said.
Those that looks like this looks more like this color to me than it looks like this one. But I don't know. At any rate, yeah, I mean that is essentially man getting its own culture. So yeah, as you say, it got its own culture. But I think that's an accurate way of describing it. And I love this. I actually really enjoy this. And then you got your it's a shame. It's a shame that we don't have I genuinely wish we had Cumbrian. I think it's Cumbrian. That's the name instead of this being Highland too. Because the Highland's big enough. Give us more. Give us more little bits. And then of course your Cornish culture is ever ever consistently being squished out. Bring me home to big Cornwall. Yes. The Scots culture is in just a dire straits right here. God damn. I know it wins out in the end, but whew, that's rough.
Yeah. Well,
It has the most
population
populous
and productivity wise, the Scots dominate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
So
has more of the
Ireland
populous.
has more space on the map, but the Scots hold the good land.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Surely this time Cornish won't be in the English culture group. I mean, it doesn't look like that's even going to be a thing, all things considered. Like they don't have like the same colors, you know. What is your punishment, almighty Map Man? Your punishment, Evie, is to look at Anglo-Irish. That is your punishment. Your
Beautiful.
punishment is to look at Anglo-Irish and Norse Gael. I think that the best way to fix it. What do you think, Nem? I think that the best way to resolve this is just to make it all Norwegian. Do you agree? I think that's correct. It's the true answer to this. Hadrada, the hard ruler must come again. Yes. Oh. All right. I love the culture map. I love culture maps. It's some of my favorite stuff to look at during these. To be perfectly honest, make it Icelandic. Oh, that's bold. That is bold, Evie. Goddamn Icelandic. I do. I didn't really comment on it, but I think it's very interesting to see. You've got like large pockets of the Anglo-Irish culture, all in like various places all around Ireland. That's very interesting to me. So you probably see in many places all over the island the minority of it growing. There might even be some realms. I bet there's quite a few realms here that are ruled by Anglo-Irish people.
Well, yeah, if we go back to the first map that shows the political map mode, you can see which states are English puppets in the Lordship of Ireland. So I'm assuming
yeah, there's the better
it's that
one later
there.
on.
So when you compare that with where the Anglo-Irish are on the map, it makes me think it's the result of them being part of the Anglo. It's higher up, or there it is as well. If we're looking for culture map, there it is. So you can see kind of the English Lordship of Ireland there, in the form of those various puppet tags. Pale, Kildare, Ormond, Desmond, and coincidentally, those largely correspond to where the Anglo-Irish culture is. The only one that isn't is Lagin, which I think might be in revolt or something like that. I don't know, but Yeah.
This is
I'm
very
assuming
interesting
the
to me.
Anglo-Irish is as a result of the various English nobility and influences that have encroached on Ireland by this start date.
Hmm. This is very interesting to me the more I look at this. England has so many vassals. England has like a comparable amount of subjects to France at this rate. Damn. They're not big ones.
I do
But
hope that there is a decision to, if England manages to achieve dominance over the Emerald Isle, to consolidate all of its puppet tags into the
I want
Lordship of
that.
Ireland,
I very
or the
much would like
Kingdom
that.
of
That would be very
Ireland,
cool. That
similar
would be
to the
very neat.
EU4 Parliament issue, which you can elevate the Kingdom of Ireland and spit it out.
Yeah, and I genuinely think that would be better for England early game. Just like how Wales is more effectively governed as a subject, I think Ireland would be way more effectively administered early game as a subject. As much as I would love Cornwall to be a subject, it doesn't make sense for them gameplay wise.
They
Unfortunately,
mentioned Cornwall.
They do mention Cornwall somewhere. Oh,
Yep.
For
They mentioned
why
how
they
there's
decided not to
yeah,
represent it as a subject tag.
because even though it's made into the only duchy in England, it's just not enough. Not to mention, it was made a duchy for the Black Prince himself.
so
Yeah, it's a
realistically, it
royal
would be.
title. It's not a subject title.
The point being, it was made a duchy so that the Black Prince would hold it. It would just be a PU, like and there's just
It'd
Yeah,
probably be
just
like
be
an
like the
appanage like they have with France.
yeah, exactly. It would be this exact same situation as how France has like Normandy and some other tag, I think, in northern France that are
Normandy,
just going to get
Anjou,
integrated.
and Maine are all held by the Dauphin of France at this start.
Hmm. English versus French vassal swarm for the Hundred Years' War. Yes. This is why we need Cornwall. But realistically, yeah, England's better off having it de facto owned by them because they have good control in the region, I'm sure, and they've got the silver mine held directly. It's just better for them. As much as I love Cornwall, so sad. But hey, we've got Wales. And why they split down France? Uh, More vassal swarm. Yeah, I mean, you could just release it as a vassal, but if I'm playing as England, I wouldn't want to because I'd want to have the silver mine myself. Anything else that needs to be? The Anglo-Irish representing the spectrum of Cambro-Norman knights to the so-called Old English settlers. Great numbers in the southeastern trading towns of Dublin to Cork, as well as in smaller numbers in frontier outposts. The cosmopolitan towns across the Isles are also home to people from elsewhere in Europe, most notably Flemish weavers from the Low Countries, though their numbers are too small to impact the map mode. That's neat. I wonder where we'll see those Flemish people other than London itself. Norman blank? What? What?
The Norman redacted dominates the redacted.
For both of the kingdoms and their subjects.
I'm assuming it's something like court language, noble language, administrative language, something like that.
There's no like Norman language though, right? They're not speaking Norman.
Norman French is a dialect. It's no less than any of the other French regional dialects.
Yeah, fair. Oh, what the hell? No, it's just redacted. Different devs have different ways of redacting things. It just so happens that Saint Dave uses this horrendous white block instead of Johann's superior black strip. It's just white out versus redacted. Saint Dave uses the cringe white out while Johann uses the based Giga Chad redacted. So yes. Don't know. The Norman something dominates the. Like that's got to be
Aubrey,
like a couple words.
you're not get. I don't even think the length of the blocks matters. Don't
Mm.
even try. Don't
It's
try.
gotta be.
Just
It's
don't
gotta
try.
matter.
Move on. Move on.
They're doing this to me.
No,
Wait.
it doesn't matter.
But there's more because they said the language. They said the language. The conquest
Yes,
of
this is
1066
why,
England
as I
French. Yeah.
said, it's likely either an administrative language, a noble language, something like that. Because the ruling class is using this,
Subjects to the conquest
the
of
language
1066.
still.
But the continuing bonds between the aristocratic classes of England, Scotland, and France have kept the French language alive and strong. So I think you might be right then. I'm sorry. I did not read this. So I think ignore dark. Ignore dark. It must be something to do with language then. The
Move
Norman
on.
dialect or
Move on.
something. Hmm.
You'll be fine.
Move along.
Decided it's not even worth taking a screenshot of the religion map mode. There are tiny minorities of Jewish people in some Scottish and Irish towns. They've been expelled from England, but they're so small in number they don't even register on the map mode. Other than that, it's all Catholic, but not for long. John Wycliffe.
He
Wycliffe?
founded the Lollard movement in England.
Ooh, Lollards. All right. I'm down for some Lollards. Yeah. Is it going to be like CK3 where they add court languages, official languages, switch to prestigious language? Yeah, I bet it's going to be some sort of like the court language because the English people, the English court, maybe the English court is still speaking a dialect of French. I don't know enough about how that changed over time. But maybe. I don't know how that would impact the game, but I'm curious. But yeah, Lollard England, yes, please. Please, Gib. I will do. Based on the 4 provinces of Ireland, sorry, Meath, and splitting England roughly into 4 larger Anglo-Saxon earldoms, which have some similarity with modern regions. Sorry, Yorkshire. Ireland's Northern Isles, the Hebrides Isles, yeah. Highlands, Lowlands, makes sense. Oh, the Isle of Man is still in those isles, makes sense. And then, of course, yeah. Munster, Leinster, Connaught, and Ulster. Yeah, no surprises there. Oh. Rest in peace, Cornwall. West Country.
I don't like these names. Surely they can come up with better things than home counties in West Country.
What?
Unfortunately, I think this is what the English actually use.
Get Jamie on the phone. Get Jamie on the phone. He needs to change this. He's an Englishman. Surely he can stop them.
I'm not gonna lie. I think Britain has a lot more problems than this.
West Country, home counties, East Anglia. Like East Anglia and Midlands is fine. Like these ones I'm fine with. The Northumbria, Midlands, and East Anglia. I get that. But home counties and West Country? Ah! Damn. Whatever you do, don't trust the King of Midland. Oof. Was a law or something to show some time back. West Country is actually accurate? No. Why? That is gross. Ugh. Ugh. Alright, moving along from that. Provinces, we've fixed the colors, the provinces map mode, so you can see individual provinces a bit more clearly, largely based on historic counties, which have remained fairly consistent throughout history. almost certainly offended someone. I bet you've already offended me, and I'm not even English. The ancient Scottish shires are pretty messy and difficult to coalesce into neat provinces, so any suggestions for better arrangements? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Do, 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 do. Waterford. Oh, there's a song about Tipperary, I'm pretty sure. Cornwall, Devon, Dorset.
Yeah,
I
there
mean,
is. It's a long way to Tipperary.
that's the one. It's a long way to go to Tipperary. And they've changed the colors around, so it's very easy to distinguish. The Midlands stand out from their neighbors quite a bit.
It's really hard to distinguish East Anglia from the rest, though.
Damn. Do you think that that's actually just like part of Normandy?
Probably.
Yeah. I don't really. Yeah. It's not much more to be said about here. I'm not going to complain about this.
What is there to even complain about?
I don't think there is. Exactly. I can't complain about West Country.
West Country.
I will complain about West Country.
At least there's no East Country.
Yes. It's over Oxfordshire, bros.
Vulcan spinning in his grave at very high speeds.
You might notice that the locations in Ireland are varyingly written in both English and Irish. This is because we have the new system set up and running, where we can have name locations by the primary culture of the country they are owned by. Ah, nice. This means that, for example, London might be called Londres if ruled by a Catalan country. Oh, a Catalan country. Dear God. It's currently a work in progress feature, and we might add more elements such as game settings to base the name on dominant culture of the location instead. Or might just use default English names. I kind of like that. Oh, the dominant culture of the location. That's interesting. And this is the smallest. Yeah, there's Dublin itself. Just a little bit. I don't know. Don't think there's going to be a whole lot to comment about the location map mode itself. The Isle of Wight is its own thing. That's cute. As an Englishman, they look pretty accurate. Still confused about the Greater London area changed. London, Southwark. What didn't they call it, like Middlesex? We get to see the old Roman name for London if the HRE or any Italian nations conquers England. Oh no!
I think it'd be German if it was the HRE.
Yeah. The HRE wouldn't do that, but
Londinium.
Oh, yeah, I would love to see the possibility for Londinium on the map. Yeah.
The problem is that's Latin, not Italian.
That's true.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be shocked if they have it so that the names are that they do the Roman Empire where they have your primary pops all flipped to Roman.
Yeah, they'd probably do that.
Yeah. Primary pops all flip though. I bet because it's like actual like population, I bet it would be like a smaller number that would flip to Roman. They probably wouldn't just make your entire like all of the Italian pops just become Roman.
Well, I feel like it might be too small of an impact then. But it'll be interesting to see how they do it.
But
Or
yeah,
maybe
yes.
Or maybe there's some sort of Romanization thing that greatly accelerates assimilation time into Roman culture after you form the empire. That way it isn't an immediate flip, but you still end up having Roman culture show up.
We'll have to see about that when and if we hear anything about such a formed the Roman Empire decision.
Yeah, we don't know how
Nobody,
vulnerable
nobody is allowed to kid themselves. Every goddamn Paradox game has a form the Roman Empire decision.
Fine.
Not Stellaris.
Just make a
Stellaris
custom
has
Rome.
formed the Galactic Empire instead.
That's more like Star Wars than Rome.
Yeah,
No.
Nemcraft.
No. The way to becoming the Empire is not dissimilar to seizing the power in Rome.
Nemcraft.
like
I would
Palpatine.
really enjoy if there were ways that you could create new hybrid cultures, but I really don't think that's going to be a thing because the fact that we have monolithic English culture, for example, and with this is such a big one. Like I thought Castilian was big, English is massive. There's no way we're going to have that. It's just going to be like the Anglo-Irish start to convert the Irish, and then if England directly owns it, they'll just convert straight to English kind of thing. Yeah. But yes, Jack, I imagine that there's going to be quite a few different cursed names. I mean, even EU4 has some pretty cursed names. If the different names for Aachen, I've seen a fair few in my testing. And yes, I see. Vector is here. Yes.
Yes, I am, although I'm going to have to go for a few minutes, but I'll be back.
This is so sad. That means we get to rant about completely random things, Joffrey.
Whoa, that's crazy. Government types. Government types. I see tribes. As with most of Europe, most of the countries are under some monarchy or another, but the Irish Tuathas begin with the tribe government type. This, among other mechanics, such as redacted, helps to give them a very unique playing style in Europe. Well. Yes. So
The Irish are primitive. They're backwards.
There are many monarchies. All of the Irish, the Anglo-Irish are monarchies set up by the English nobility, but I see there's some that are not. There are some that are not de facto controlled by English nobility, and they are still monarchies. So it's a process kind of thing. It's a process. They're undergoing feudalization. Most of the British Isles under a crown of something. Yeah. Unique is one way to put it. Unique is one way to put bad. I am willing to believe that the Irish are going to have a rough time in this game.
No,
And-
they're gonna have it easy.
Yeah. There was a fun response about Ireland being mostly tribes in the dev comments. Oh boy. They're probably going to say, yeah, I bet I can already predict what it's going to be. They're probably going to say something to the effect of, and they're still tribal today, kind of thing, as they tend to. Oh boy, you can see a lot of content relating to these new changes that are coming when EU5 comes out. Well, we know there's going to be a high kingship of Ireland situation that all of the Irish factions are going to be
It's an
involved
organization,
in.
not a situation.
Oh, not situation. International organization. That's the term. Yeah, those are different features. Yes.
I'm too smart.
Yes.
And you're foolish. I can't believe you'd be such a fool that you'd call it a situation instead. You should be ashamed of yourself.
I'm just trying my best, man.
Your best isn't good enough.
It's not easy, man.
Don't cry. Don't be a little bitch.
Alright. What else? God, there's a lot to read about the countries in England. Sheesh.
Lord.
They're going into more detail here, and yet I wanted to speed through this one so I could play Escape the Backrooms with my cousins. I've only got a couple hours left that I have time to play in. Oh my god.
Should have gotten good then.
No. I am good. England, of
Same.
course, stands as the dominant kingdom in the Isles. Despite having a lot of power resting on the barons, the country is fairly unitary, even at this point, with very little practical separation between the crown's power and in somewhere like Kent versus Yorkshire. However, there are notable exceptions. Yes, the map dev diary is way longer this time around than the main one. And I mean, more people for some reason more people watch my map videos than the proper dev diary streams themselves. So, I don't know. Maybe there's a
And-
reason for that.
And the next stream on Tuesdays back on CK3 Dev Diaries. How many is that gonna get?
The County Palatine of Durham is not represented by a country. I was thinking about mentioning Durham's existence, but I relented. This is sad. They did not make them a subject bishopric. Instead, they just have buildings there that give clergy estate more power in the region. This also ties into political gameplay as a what?
There's a blank.
This has to be
stop
the
right
same thing that daimyos are. Whatever this is,
Wait.
this has to be the same
know it.
thing.
What it is.
What crackhead thing are you about to say? Come on, what is it? Spit it out.
Okay.
What is it? Come on.
I'm sending.
Oh God, you're gonna send me something.
I know exactly what this is. I've actually figured. I've cracked the code. There it is. That's what it is.
I never considered. Oh, it's cope seed mauled. You're right. That's what it is. Oh, I can't believe I never considered it.
Mm-hmm.
Durham is going to be if they're going to impact political gameplay as a cope seed mauled. What does this mean, though? What does this mean for the future of EU5?
That they're embracing Zoomer humor.
The newly created Duchy of Cornwall, yeah, they're mentioning it, yeah. Would also not be represented well by the Cornwall country being a disparate set of manorial holdings that are ironically mostly in Devon. Cornwall, of course, exists as a releasable country, though. Thank you, gamers.
Epic gamer moment.
I like them mentioning though the whole the city of London. The powerful
Yeah,
Burmese
honestly,
estate,
London
the city of
London is a subject.
Yes. You need the city of London to have its power. We need it to be properly represented as an unannexable vassal. The Isle of Man is a little less certain. For now we have it as a subject of England. On paper it was a kingdom awarded to William Montagu, the king's favourite. However, we aren't sure if he actually wielded any power on the island. It changed hands between England and Scotland numerous times in this period, but in practice it appears to have been governed by a local council of barons. Any more detail on exactly what was going on here in this period would be greatly appreciated. These decisions have been made because as England heaves itself out of the feudal system, we thought it would be best if the small fry inward-looking internal politicking is handled through the estates and redacted systems, and then the diplomacy tracks are freed up for the English player to behave more outwardly against other major countries. What on earth is that system? So curious. It's gotta be whatever the daimyos are. it's got to be the same thing that the daimyos are, the redacted. Don't worry about Durham. They're just happy that they're even mentioned in the first place. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. A figurehead for the Island of Man, so we don't even know what power he actually had. Yeah, I would not be surprised if they end up just removing it as a vassal and make it directly owned by England, but I like if the Isle of Man was allowed to stay a subject, because that would be a fun playthrough. I mean, probably a terrible
When will we
playthrough, but
get?
you know.
But when will we get the Channel Islands as a subject?
Please,
It's all
yes.
13 people that live there.
Please, it's more like 1,000.
But yeah, Vector, they keep teasing me. I bet Dave is deliberately teasing me. It is me. He knows he's coming after me with all of these talking about redacted things. So you see, it really sounds to me like these same things they're hinting at with some redacted system. It must be the same system that the daimyos are, because Johan mentioned that daimyos are a blank. They're a redacted, and they keep talking about how like a lot of the internal factions that you could represent as a vassal country are better represented as these blank or redacted things. And they mentioned that there's some that daimyos are a blank. So what on earth are they? There's some
No,
they're
see,
represented
Joffrey,
in some way though.
These Joffrey are blanks, but the daimyos were redacted. They're different.
No,
Yep.
not it. There's not it. You're wrong. See, redacted. Through the estates and redacted systems. What are they?
Exactly. He is using redacted and the blocks, meaning that they're different.
I don't.
Love me or
I
hate me,
know.
I am spitting straight facts.
I know you're just fucking with me, but you know that that's the sort of thing that I'll actually overthink now.
What do you think I tell it to you?
Yeah. What could it mean? What do the numbers mean? Wales. Though subjugated by conquest, Wales was not formally annexed into the Kingdom of England until the mid-1500s. As such, the Principality begins as a Dominion subject under England. Dominion. That means it doesn't have its own ruler, I think, though.
I think, yeah.
I think that, yeah, well, that's sad. There's no Welsh character, but it is ruled by the same guy, but whatever. Those familiar with Welsh history will note that historically the Principality of Wales didn't extend much beyond the old Kingdom of Gwynedd. Much of the country to the southeast was in fact ruled by Marcher lords, which we represent with a powerful nobility estate in the valleys and beyond. There is an alternative version of Wales that I would like to gauge opinion on, and that is expanding it to include the earldom of expanding it to include Chester and the Marches on the English side of the modern border? If you were an Englishman familiar with modern borders, this might look alarming. Yes, I'm sure. But these lands were also constitutionally ambiguous parts of the Welsh Marches until the 1500s. This will hand over to the Welsh player the full responsibility of dealing with the Marcher lords, allowing England to focus on bigger picture issues like beating France.
Beat the stuffing out of France. And give it empire incoming.
This is Chester, I think.
Chester is the one at the coast on the north side.
That one specifically. It's not the both of them. It's just that. That would
That's
look
Chester.
that would look kind of rough. But I mean, if anything was going to get added to it, that would be the one. I mean, I could get behind that. It wouldn't look as clean, all things considered, but it wouldn't mess with the name placement. So that could work. What was the culture? The culture is very solidly English, though. It's already creeping into all of the Welsh counties too. Ireland is going through a moment of change. English royal power is centered on the lordship of the Pale, the king's dominion, ruling out of Dublin Castle. However, it struggles to keep the grasp on the rebellious Hiberno-Norman earls scattered around the island, some of whom remain as vassals, some of whom have managed to slip free of royal control. The tanistry system of elective the tanistry system of succession endemic to the Gaelic Irish has its advantages, but it can also lead to chaotic feuds between rival branches. The so-called Burke Civil War has fractured the powerful earldom of Ulster into rival Burke cousins who jealously feud over their shrinking lordships in Connaught. Native Irish princes of the north have reconquered most of their own lands from the De Burgh. But there are also two rival O'Neill cousins who styled themselves as King of Tyrone on either side of the River Bann. The feuding Irish lack a unifying figure, but anyone powerful enough could theoretically claim the title of High King. The former provincial kingdoms, such as Meath and Connaught, enjoyed the elevated rank of duchy, giving them a slight edge in the high kingship selection. Oh. Meath and Connaught. Because those are... I thought those were both... What?
Cool.
Isn't Meath here? There's Connaught. So they're a duchy? And they're like a higher title rank? And they're feudal, aren't they?
And I think Meath is the MTH right next to it.
No, it's not. Okay. Oh, that's Meath! Because Meath, I think this is all like...
Because
de
Meath
jure
is supposed to own what Pale has.
Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure that's all de jure Meath. Yeah, that's de jure Meath. And it's yeah. So they're a duke. Duke and Connaught. Interesting. And culture. Neither of them have the English Anglo-Irish culture. This one was that. Clanricarde has it. Maybe Connaught and Meath are both ruled by Anglo-Irish people, though. I'll have to see. I'm curious. But in any case, that's interesting that them having this higher rank means that they are more capable of claiming the title of High Kingship. Yeah. Maybe the redacted is something more international. Wonder if the redacted parts are the big changes for EU5. We're still unsure. I mean, there's a lot of things they haven't told us about yet, clearly, yes. Yeah, the Meath tag is a little exiled at the moment, and very, very small. So yeah, Meath is more capable of making the Dutch, making the High Kingship, but they're also tiny as fuck, so... You know.
Hey, I mean, the Roman Empire doesn't own Rome either, so...
There's the dynasties.
Plantagenets.
So those are dominions, yeah. Oh, it's all just Pale, yeah. Yeah, Pale is a dominion. The Fitzgerald. Very Irish name indeed. They have an O'Neill on the throne there.
O'Neill, O'Brien, O'Donnell, O'Conahobert. Oh, I can't even pronounce. How do you pronounce the one below O'Neill? Mathgamna?
Mathgamna, I'd go with, yeah. Just replace it all with O'Donnell.
Okay, what about the one at the very bottom?
Butler's better. No, we're not. We're not even looking at that. Just go with Butler. I think that's the best.
O'Sullivan?
No, we're not. No, I mean, yeah, that actually sounds pretty good.
Oh, the next map is the big one. The one where you'll realize, wow, Scotland is shit.
Alright. Ooh!
Just to let you know, Scotland's in 3 pieces, so you can only add the 185, the 215, and the 27.
Yeah, because the Isles are their own thing.
It's
Wait,
not
they're,
even
they're
half,
under... Isles has to be a
It's-
subject of Balliol, then.
probably, but it isn't even 500,000. England has more than 10 times the pops of Scotland.
That's not great.
10
It's great for
times.
England.
Yes, I'm sure. You can really do the whole, the only problem with Scotland is it's full of Scots. And then import a bunch of Englishmen and then just buy Irish, I guess. Or Scottish. And then do the same to Ireland, actually, yeah.
Actually, a quick search shows that this is still actually the case. Scotland's population in the modern day is about 5 million, and England's population alone in the modern day is about 55 million.
Once again, more than
Not
10
really.
times.
I mean, Pale, actually, that's dense. 223k?
Dublin!
Yeah, it's all Dublin.
Well, I guess there's that in that case there's a shit ton of Anglo-Irish, a lot more than I thought.
I'm laughing at that some of the Irish lordships have under 2,000 people living in them. That's just
Yeah.
crazy.
You're like Meath with its 6k. Oh,
There's
God.
one without 0.6 right above it.
Oh.
And then on the western shore, there's one with 1.4k. And then on the southern tip, there's one that's about 2k.
That's bad, man. That's
Yeah,
Oh,
it'll be
thanks, now.
hilarious if, in fact, I imagine that will be a challenge. Start with a state that has, such a tiny population and manage to, like, I don't know, conquer your region, conquer the world, some shit like that. There will be an achievement for it because forget low development. If you have shit ass population, you can't raise any soldiers.
Yeah.
It's like 100 soldiers and your population is 1.3 thousand.
That's an incomparable
one-
power imbalance. To
That's
compare
1/13 of your entire population under arms.
compare Pale by itself to Login or Kildare. Kildare has got 60k. Right there. If Kildare just like, take Login, it's an incomparable difference in power, and that's probably I like you play as Kildare, yeah, just instantly take over Login probably. Because I imagine they're probably not very directly controlled subjects. They probably can declare wars on their own. Oh yeah, Ryukyu. Oh god.
Joffrey has the hiccups, boys. Laugh at him. Point and laugh.
Mhm.
Point and laugh.
Aggressive hiccups. God damn. All right. Well, I don't think I'll do all that much dev responses this time because
He wants to leave us.
I do want to leave you, and this we started later.
He
Than
doesn't
we
love
typically
us
do.
anymore.
No, I don't. I actually quite dislike you all.
Don't worry, I dislike you too.
Are you trying to replace Johan as the teaser in chief? Post for the job you want, not the job you have. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not
Anatolia.
interested. I'm not
am.
interested in seeing that.
I am.
We've already.
It'll
I
be
feel like
interesting if Anatolia will also include the Aegean, or if it'll literally just be Anatolia.
Oh,
be cute.
true.
we've just already sort of seen Anatolia, so I'm not overly
Yeah,
interested in seeing it again.
But it's possible that they've done some revisions since then.
Markets, culture, religion, governments. I want to see that. That's what I want to look at.
The hiccup
So I'm
boy.
curious. You can cease anytime you like. Irish names. Carnarvon. Westminster is the capital. Screw London. Westminster is the capital. Will there be reviving extinct languages and cultures such as Cumbric, Britain, and Hen Ogledd is formable for Welsh culture. What the heck is that?
A country that they can form. Duh.
When a Civil War combatant wins the Civil War, they become the original country. So if Balliol wins, they just completely absorb Scotland and become Scotland. Makes sense to me.
Yes.
Balliol,
I wonder how.
Scotland. Coming soon to a gaming console near you.
I wonder how Civil Wars work post game start, if that's even a thing that happens.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
What? No, don't do this, St. Dave. England's primary culture is English. England's redacted is the Norman French redacted. Okay, Dark, you were right. You were right, Dark. It is something different. Redacted is a different thing from blank blank. Oh, I don't know. What does it mean, though? What does it mean? Can't
I already
believe you
told you what it
redacted
means.
Project Caesar. I need this job. Arguing about the difference between English and English dialects. That's a big. I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna laugh at them.
Ha 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 ha.
The Manx are represented by Gaelic-speaking the Norse Gaels, dominant culture. Norse Gael dialect. No, they're not. They're not saying what the second culture is specifically. Feedback is great. Oh, yay, Saint Dave. Ireland is feudal. CK3 isn't canon.
Man, we are just getting more lore for the Paradox Extended Universe.
I'm gonna save that too. I'm gonna save that CK3 isn't canon. That's great. Emperor Priddon, the Duke of Hangogled.
Pretty thin.
I don't know what that is, but I'll take the
Prythane
word
is
for it.
essentially the name for the island of Britain, but in Welsh.
Wait, is that all?
Yup.
Oh.
Lucky you.
Yay! I get to be rid of you guys! And to bring my hiccups to my cousins as we play Escape the Backrooms. And I will... Oh no. Oh no, all the entities are going to hear me hiccuping.
Good.
Question is, will Norse Gael be closer to Scandinavian or Gaelic? I mean...
Yes.
Yes.
In the back rooms, Joff, everyone can hear you hiccup.
Yes. What did you send me, Nemcraft? About the Welsh? By sent me, you mean you pinged me? Oh. It's a historical region that was inhabited by... Northern England region. I see. People think CK2 is canon, but it's actually CK1 that's canon. I agree. Yes. But with that, I will take my leave as well as take my hiccups out of here. God damn it! I hate my hiccups so much sometimes.
Hiccups are easy to deal with.
Not for me, they ain't.
Hold your breath.
Yeah, honestly,
If
hold
only
your
it was
breath.
that easy.
And then also, you could try to exhale. Like, exhale hard. And then inhale.
Anyway.
Hold your breath.
Anyway,
Good night, everybody.
good night.
Good
I
night.
thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you next time.
We'll be back early on
Good night.
Tuesday. By we, I mean Joffrey and other people.
Ah.